the Elder Blood, starry-eyed daughter of chaos, join our hunt. Your place is among us. You are ours.
Ciri?
A merchant and his family ride into a small village in the dead of a winter night, in search of a place to stay. They notice that the entire place looks deserted, and are killed shortly after by a mysterious creature. On the hill of Sodden, where the army of Nilfgaard has been defeated, Geralt, Ciri, and Tissia search for Yennefer, but she's missing and presumed dead. Unknown to them, Yennefer is in fact alive, but has been captured by a fleeing Fringilla. Back at Aretuza, a sorrowful Tissia decides to torture Cahir for information on Nilfgaard. Realizing that Yennefer is gone, Geralt starts taking Ciri to Kaer Morhen, but they're forced to get off the road for the night after a disturbing sign. They find themselves at a small abandoned village, where the merchant and family died, but instead turn into Nivlin's home. Nivlin is a cursed man with the face of a boar, and an acquaintance of Geralt's, welcomes them to a hearty dinner and robust hospitality. There, Geralt finds more disturbing clues, including the fact that Nivlin is hiding something. Ciri learns late into the night that Nivlin is hiding Verena, his cat, from Geralt, because she's not actually a cat. When Geralt discovers that Verena is in fact a Bruxa, the creature that's been killing the people in the village, he kills it. They then learn that Nivlin's curse comes from raping the priestess of the temple, and decide to leave him. Still on the run, Yennefer and Fringilla and her men get bushwhacked by mysterious attackers in the woods. Yennefer and Fringilla wake up from similar dreams to find that they've been captured by elves, led by Filavandrel, and are entirely at their mercy. Hundreds of kilometers away, Geralt and Ciri arrive at Kaer Morhen to a warm welcome. While they're at the dinner table, Eskel, another Witcher, walks in with the decapitated hand of a Leshy that they all find odd, but they dismiss it and even have a party later. Back at the elves' camp, Yennefer and Fringilla learn that they share the same dreams with Francesca, an elven mage and leader of the elves. Gage leads them to a tunnel, and all three of them find themselves in a hut with no door, where they gain an audience with the Deathless Mother, who turns out to be a cloaked figure in their dreams. During the party at Kaer Morhen, the medallions on the medallion tree start to vibrate, signifying trouble. The Witchers split in search of it. At the same time, the Deathless Mother tries to entice Francesca, Fringilla, and Yennefer with their greatest desires. Geralt and Vesemir come across Eskel, who turns out to be the monster after being infected by the Leshy. They engage him in a fight, and Geralt is forced to kill him. At the hut with no doors, the witch uses Francesca and Fringilla's desires to get the elves and Nilfgaard to form an alliance. Yennefer, on the other hand, sees through the Deathless Mother, who then reveals that Yennefer has lost her powers after the events at Sodden. Back in Kaer Morhen, Geralt decides it's time to let Ciri train. Vesemir conducts an autopsy on Eskel's corpse. In the process, he and Geralt find that the Leshy that infected him was mutated as well. At Aretuza, the Brotherhood quizzes Istrid about Nilfgaard, but he tells them nothing. As they discuss the precarious nature of the elves, Yennefer shows up to general surprise and Tissia's delight. Then Tissia brings Yennefer up to date, informing her that she and Vilgefortz are making a play for leadership seats at the Brotherhood. Cone and Lambert intensify Ciri's training, while she perseveres despite failing continuously, which reveals her stubborn and defiant side. At Cintra, Fringilla proposes a partnership and friendship with Francesca, while they talk about their alliance. Francesca is interested as long as Fringilla provides a good environment for her people to live. Stregobor, who harbors a deep distaste for Yennefer, assaults her and tortures her, gaining access to her memories as well. However, Tissia frees her. At Stregobor's trial, he questions Yennefer's ability to use fire magic and escape capture from Nilfgaardians and elves without a scratch, insinuating that she's a spy. To prove that she's not, Yennefer is asked to kill Cahir, or tell everyone that she's lost her magic. When Geralt finds a disturbing clue in Ciri's room, he asks her to follow the magical urge she's been feeling. Ciri does so, and it leads directly to Eskel's Leshy, and a centipede-like monster called a myriapod, which Geralt eventually kills. At Thanedd, Cahir is about to be beheaded. King Vizimir tells King Foltest that his spy, Dijkstra, thinks Yennefer is worth watching. However, things take an alarming turn when Yennefer, rather than kill Cahir, frees him and flees. After the incident with the myriapod, Geralt decides to let Ciri train twice as hard. While she runs across the trail, Ciri meets Triss and leads her back to Kaer Morhen. Yennefer and Cahir arrive at Gorsvelen, but decide to go to Cintra after wanted posters are put out for them. At Redania, Dijkstra stops King Vizimir from getting poisoned and brings up the possibility of conquering Cintra, now that Calanthe is dead. Dijkstra is upset that he doesn't have any intelligence on the Nilfgaardian Emperor. He brainstorms with his monitoring owl, which is actually the sorceress Philippa Eilhart, and decides to put an elven spy in Cintra. Yennefer and Cahir find their way to the Sandpiper, a mysterious figure that helps elves obtain safe passage from Oxenfurt to Cintra. Meanwhile, Triss and Geralt discover that the myriapod isn't a mutation, but they also discover something odd. Both the creature and Eskel's Leshy have stellocytes on their body. Stellocytes only come from monoliths, and Ciri confesses that she toppled one on her flight from Cintra. The monoliths have something to do with the monsters, and Geralt goes to investigate. Vesemir finds Finawood, a rare flower that grows from elder blood. It grows wherever Ciri's blood has been spilled during training, and he realizes that Ciri is of the elder blood, but also sees this as an opportunity to make more witchers with the flower. Yennefer discovers that the Sandpiper is in fact Jaskier. He leads Yennefer, Cahir, and a bunch of elves to a boat going to Cintra. However, on his way out, he gets captured by a mysterious assailant. The sorceress Lydia frees Rience, a fire mage, to go capture Ciri. He, in turn, is revealed to have captured Jaskier and is torturing him for information. Elsewhere within the same town, Yennefer has left the boat in search of Jaskier. Close to the borders of Cintra, Geralt and Istrid, who possesses knowledge of monoliths, head towards the site of the one Ciri toppled. At Oxenfurt, Yennefer continues to be pestered by the Deathless Mother, but wants to strike a bargain in return for her powers. She finds Jaskier and helps him escape, wittingly burning Rience in the process. However, they get separated shortly after. Geralt and Istrid find a huge chasm at the site of the toppled monolith and go in to investigate further. Meanwhile, Ciri agrees to help Vesemir create more witchers on the condition that he'd make her one as well. Triss confronts Ciri about her decision and offers to help her know more about herself. They take a trip down Ciri's consciousness and find out that according to Ithiliene's prophecy, she is destined to destroy the world. At the bottom of the chasm, Geralt and Istrid realize that the monsters are coming in through the monoliths from other worlds. Geralt also learns that Yennefer is alive and that he and Istrid share a love for her. Ciri and Triss then get into trouble and Ciri calls out for Geralt, creating a ripple of energy that brings forth a Chernobog. Sensing trouble, Geralt portals back to Kaer Morhen and stops Vesemir from giving Ciri the mutagen. Cahir finally arrives in Cintra, the same time as Dara, Dijkstra's spy, while Yennefer finally caves in to the witch's demand and is asked to bring Ciri in return for her magic. Geralt kills the Chernobog with some help from Ciri. Back at Kaer Morhen, Rience attacks the Witcher's lab, wounding Vesemir, and escaping with the Witcher mutagen. Geralt and Ciri then make their way to the Temple of Melitele, where Nenneca opts to teach her how to control chaos magic. Elsewhere, Rience and Lydia prepare for another attempt to capture Ciri. This time Lydia tells him to go with a crew. Istrid goes to meet Codringer and Fen to learn more about the Cintran lineage. Meanwhile, Yennefer finds her way to the temple and walks into Geralt and Ciri. She soon learns that taking Ciri might be harder than she expected. In Cintra, Francesca gives birth to a healthy baby, much to the joy of the elves. But Cahir voices his doubts about Fringilla's alliance with Francesca and drops news of Emperor Emir's imminent arrival. Dara then finds out that both Emir and Cahir are after Ciri, and he lets Philippa know. At the temple, Rience and the Michelet brothers successfully breach the building, but Geralt holds them off. only to be betrayed by Yennefer, who gets Ciri to portal them away from the temple. Meanwhile, Istrid, Codringer, and Fen dig up a piece of information on Lara Dorren, an ancestor of Calanthe and a carrier of the Elder Blood, revealing that there's a generational weapon in the female Cintran bloodline. Feeling the urge to share their discovery, Triss leaves Kaer Morhen to tell Tissia about Ciri. Geralt asks Nenneca to conjure a portal, and he goes after Ciri. Ciri has transported herself and Yennefer to Zola's home, but the woman who helped her once has been murdered by Rience. Yennefer cunningly gets Ciri to follow her towards Cintra, where she plans to hand her over to Voleth Meir, the Deathless Mother. At Cintra, Francesca and Filavandrel become less war-hungry after the birth of their baby, causing discontent with Fringilla. Meanwhile, Dijkstra visits Aretuza, informing them of the elven baby, while Lydia tries to trace Ciri through her blood in the mutagen, but gets badly wounded. Geralt then frees Jaskier from prison and learns that Yennefer has not only lost her magic, but is in some agreement with Voleth Meir, a demon that feeds on the pain of others. Fringilla goes to her uncle, Artorius, for help, but he decides not to assist her. Deciding to handle matters herself, she interrupts the general's meal, brutally killing them to Voleth Meir's delight. She spares Cahir so he can present her in good light before Emir. Dara then decides to get off his service to Dijkstra, but Dijkstra's already gotten what he wanted, and advises Vizimir to make a move for more power by going after Ciri. Yennefer starts to learn how strong and important Ciri is as they near Cintra. However, Ciri discovers Yennefer's ulterior motive, and they're almost captured by Nilfgaardian soldiers, until Geralt shows up and saves them, ordering Yarpen and Jaskier to take Ciri back to Kaer Morhen. In Cintra, Francesca's baby gets killed. Her pain, as well as Fringilla and Yennefer's desperation, gives Voleth Meir enough strength to leave the hut and possess Ciri. Ciri wakes up in a past where life is normal and the fall of Cintra never happened. However, it turns out to be all in her head, as the real Ciri walks around Kaer Morhen wreaking havoc under Voleth Meir's influence. Yennefer tries to get a pissed Geralt to understand her motives, but it's futile. He barges into Vesemir's room, just in time to stop Ciri from killing him. Ciri tries to outsmart Geralt, but he sees through her. The Witchers fan out in search of her. At Cintra, Dara opens up to Filavandrel and Francesca, telling them that he was formerly under Dijkstra's employ. This prompts Francesca and Filavandrel to leave for Redania and start killing human babies, while Cahir and Fringilla plan to tell the Emperor that the death of Francesca's baby was their plan. Back at Kaer Morhen, Ciri cracks open the medallion tree, revealing a monolith, which she uses to bring forth monsters. When Geralt then discovers that Ciri can't escape without a vessel for Voleth Meir, Yennefer offers herself up as one. Ciri opens a portal that takes herself, Yennefer, and Geralt to another sphere. As soon as that happens, Voleth Meir leaves, but their troubles are far from over as the Wild Hunt appears, intent on capturing Ciri. At the last moment, she teleports them back to Kaer Morhen. Realizing the increasing threat to Ciri, Geralt plans to take her away. In Cintra, Emir arrives and reveals to a shocked Fringilla and Cahir that he had ordered the death of the elven baby, and reveals that he knows it wasn't them. However, he reveals something even more dumbfounding. He is Ciri's father, Duny.
I'm the one who ordered the death of that elven baby. I had to. It was the best path to helping me find my daughter.